we're just gonna cruise the greenway and talk about weather. I wish I could give y'all like feel-o-vision where you could just feel this right now. Mace, what is going on, girl? Is it just beautiful out? Oh, is it just beautiful? I know, there's no more coffee. I'm sorry, I drank it all. I drank it. Is it just beautiful? Should we tell him? What is it? That's right, it's 65 right now. It is 65 degrees. This is amazing. This is amazing. Right now. I mean, what was it? Less than 2 weeks ago. We were crying about how cold it was. It was the coldest 18 degrees, freezing, had jackets and layers on, and couldn't even come out here because everything was frozen and frozen tundra, and Elsa just, woo! It feels good though. My goodness, look, we've been hard at work. Been hard at work. We've got this beautiful weather. So Macy's been helping me. We did this erosion matting out here because I'm just sick of the clay and the mud that just, winter just douses the ground, and it's so saturated and just bleh, that it's finally got warmed up, threw some seed down, threw the erosion matting down, been watering it, letting just this beautiful weather soak it up and start heating it up and hopefully get some grass growing. But we're gonna talk weather. We're finally gonna talk weather. I finally have time to talk weather now. It's been so crazy. Chicks are locked up because grass seed, I swear, it's like catnip to them. Like, they will eat every piece of grass seed that I put down. So I got them, they're locked up for a couple days. They're okay, but they're locked up. Look, there's already stuff on the trees. Everything's starting to bud now. Babs is gonna start sneezing even more. Gonna make it all uncomfortable with this COVID stuff that's still going on in some places. But we are gonna talk weather. We're gonna talk weather. I gotta run into town and go meet Mackenzie for doctor's appointment. We're gonna talk weather today. We even got the greenhouse up already. I put the greenhouse up, we started some seeds just because it's so warm. It's perfect timing. Babe, what's going on? Another stimulus check, yeah, I don't know. Are you gonna be able to count Rizzo as your dependent? You might be able to. Riz, how you doing? Yeah? Hey, can I show them the photo of you two yesterday? Because I'm pretty sure if I enter that into like a photo contest, that could win something, okay? Look at this photo. Is that not the most adorable thing you have ever seen in your life? Little baby pig just laying on the big pig, thinking it's her mama. All right, yeah, I know. I honestly, I don't know what to tell you. I know Biden said 2000. I know. Maybe he'll give it in the State of the Union he's supposed to have, but he hasn't. You guys will be fine. All right, so again, I'm gonna preface this like I did the last video, but we got sidetracked from talking weather. I'm not a weather person. Man, woman, whatever you want to call it, okay? I'm not a meteorologist. I'm just a guy. I'm a guy in Tennessee that likes weather, that is fascinated by weather, right? A year ago, yesterday, Nashville had a terrible tornado. And we went out there, we went out towards Cookeville to, hey, you're not going anywhere? Hey. We went out there to help. Actually, because a year ago today was a Post Malone concert that I surprised Mackenzie for her 16th birthday. So we actually went out to Cookeville, kind of cruised around, surveyed the damage, and helped out a little bit. But like I said, I'm not a meteorologist. I don't claim to be. I don't claim to be an expert. But this is just what I've learned out here already in the 2 years, taking a couple weather classes, some weather spotting classes, and what I know about thunderstorms, tornadoes, all that kind of stuff. Again, this is just one guy's opinion. One dude's opinion in East Tennessee. So be nice in the comments. Don't take it to the bank. This is just one guy's opinion, okay? Just trying to share. Just trying to help other people out. Okay, now that that's done, we talk. All right, doctor is done. I gotta wait for Tay, and then Gotta head home. Then we got soccer practice. Got a bunch of stuff going on today. But I'm gonna get my stereotypical vlogger one wheel out here. We have not rode this all winter, so this should be interesting. But I figured it is so beautiful outside, we're just gonna cruise the greenway and talk about weather. It's been a while since I've rode this thing. It probably needs an update or two, so if I fall, no laughing. Okay, so weather-wise, I mean, we can get the easy stuff out of the way, right? Fall, beautiful. Beautiful fall weather. It warms up, it stays at upper 70s and 80s, you know, nothing too wild in fall. You do get some lingering temps into November. The first year we were here, 2 years ago, it was pretty warm into November, I think. But then last year, no, it started cooling off in October, and we had a very nice October, very nice November, and then right into the cold. So then winter, right? Winter, this year was cold, much colder than the year before. This year, I think probably the lowest temp we had, I think, on the weather thing was 13 degrees. We had about 6 to 7 inches of snow actually at the house. Now that's in Blount County in Friendsville, Tennessee. It varies by whatever county or city you're in East Tennessee. But again, that's just my experience, what we had personally at our house. So not a ton of snowfall. Had plenty of days where there was little flurries and stuff, really beautiful. And just that's the kind you want anyways. So winter, our average was about 40 degrees this year, 40 to 50 degrees on record. Like I said, the year before was a little bit warmer. Our average was upper 50s, 60s. Again, that's just in our little area. So our lowest temp during winter was 13, and that's what it feels like outside. I think it was about 18, but with wind chill, it came down to 13. Like I said, 6 to 7 inches of snow. There was only two or three occasions. The one where we had 4 inches, and then the other ones were just like an inch here, an inch there. Then the rest was just flurries and anything like that. So nothing too serious when it comes to winter that we have experienced yet. Now, Blount County did have a blizzard back in '93, and it was about half a foot of snow blanketed. Probably some more inches elsewhere, but yeah, that as far as big heavy snowfall, that's the last on record. Everybody keeps praying for snow. It's funny, you go through Facebook and you see people that, you know, there's a lot of people that want a lot of snow, and then there's people that just can't stand even the inch or two. So the snow, when it does fall, it's beautiful. It just covers the landscape, so it's a gorgeous views for days. And it's not enough to ruin anything. It doesn't ruin the roads. You can still drive. You can still go out and about. It's funny because anytime you get snow in the forecast, you always see people poking fun at it. I mean, because there are people that say you need to go get your eggs, your milk, and your bread because, you know, you're going to have a blizzard coming. But there are people that poke fun at it because it never ends up being anything. Look at this. Historical Tucker Springs. Natural spring feeding into the creek. That is so beautiful. I love this area. How gorgeous is this? Okay, so fall, super simple, right? Nothing much happens. Winter, it's winter, right? It's winter in the south. I mean, it gets cold, but you do have hot days. Like, Tennessee's right in the middle. There's a jet stream that needs to duck down, and then you'll get blasted with Arctic air, kind of like we did this year. Not as bad as people thought it would, but it all depends on that jet stream, right? So you do get some different weather coming across the state from west to middle to east. But as far as east goes, we had a typical winter. Like, I like that winter. Like, that's why we moved here. That's what we wanted, right? We wanted the snowfall. We wanted just cold temps. We wanted to look forward to the warmth, and that's where we're at now. Like, now the temps are starting to change. Like 70 today. It is absolutely stunning outside right now. But before we know it, the heat will be here. And summer's not that bad, honestly. Like, I see too many people freaking out about the humidity and everything else, but come from California, when you get some days in 90 to 100 degrees, and it's just hot and dry, and you can't do anything, and you got to stay hydrated, and you got to go inside so you don't get heat stroke, and the humidity's not that bad. When I say the humidity's not that bad, I'm talking like, it's not Florida. It's not Florida, it's not Bama, it's not any of the deep south humidity that you're thinking it is. You do get humid days, right? So I think I think we barely touched 90 degrees on the weather station last year. Barely touched 90 degrees, but it is those days when it's 90 degrees and your dew point gets above 65. Those are the miserable days. And y'all know I am honest and transparent with you. There are some days where it's miserable. There are some days where it's just like, bleh, I do not want to go outside. But for a majority of the days, you can handle it. You get used to it because the trade-off's worth it. You're living in Tennessee, you're happy, stress is down. Give me a little humidity. That's fine with me. I could trade off, no problem. Now the Farmer's Almanac, Babs read the Farmer's Almanac, and it says it's supposed to be a cool and wet summer. So I don't know what that means. I don't know any farmers, haven't talked to them lately, but if it's cool and wet, I will look forward to that. She gave me a thumbs up. She said it was cool. And that's what you're gonna expect from Tennessee. Just comfortable, beautiful fall-like weather. You're gonna have winter time where you're gonna get some beautiful snowfall. You're gonna get some cooler temps. Summer's gonna be hot. It's gonna be humid days. There's gonna be mild days. Plenty of water for you to cool off. You got lakes, you got rivers, all kinds of fun. But spring is the big one. Spring is the one I wanna talk about because that's where you come into severe weather. And that's where we're at right now. And actually this week, the first week of March, is Severe Weather Awareness Week. And it's a big deal if you're moving to Tennessee. You need to learn about severe weather and you need to know a little bit about it.
Tonight, sirens blaring across the South. An Easter Sunday severe weather outbreak underway.
Overnight, the ongoing severe weather outbreak plaguing the heartland.
This is what a flash flood emergency looks like in Wichita, a residential street.
A new severe weather threat that is brewing, potentially targeting millions from Texas to Iowa.
This is a live look at the Fort Worth, Texas area where storm clouds you see here are gathering.
The line of storms so strong it also had 3 confirmed tornadoes in Pennsylvania alone. Violent storms possible from Oklahoma City right through Dallas and Fort Worth.
Of Pennsylvania, but you can see sort of some of these lines with some deep embedded showers.
Gray skies in Baldwin County as tornadoes and heavy wind could be possible overnight.
Dozens of severe weather reports, including baseball-sized hail.
There is still a line of storms headed across the South with a potential.
All right, so now I know I just kind of breezed over those 3 seasons really quick. They're not a big deal to me, really. Like, I mean, summer is summer, right? Summer's usually hot. The humidity's not a big deal to me. I know there's people that are like, oh my God, the humidity, I can't take it anymore. Well, then don't move here. The winter, not a big deal. Like cold, like I love the cold, like it's fine. Like I know the girls hate it. Babs loves it, but the girls hate it because they just want to be hot. But yeah, it's not a big deal to us. But the main thing I want to focus on was spring. So severe weather, you're talking thunderstorms, you're talking tornadoes, you're talking hail, you're talking wind, right? So a severe thunderstorm officially is defined as any storm that has hail over an inch, winds of 58 miles per hour or greater, right? That defines a severe thunderstorm, and that's what you see the most out here. So you can see them. They look like big cauliflowers when they start building, right? They start at the ground and then they kind of go up and expand and they kind of blossom and then they spread out as they start to pan out. Now a lot of people get scared when they hear thunderstorms, but that's why you need to be alert. You need to be ready. You need to know what's going on, and that's the one comparison I always make with severe weather or people hear tornadoes and stuff like that. Is at least you have warning. At least you have a fair shot at being warned and being able to take shelter for the most part, right? Now that tornado that happened in Nashville, there was not a lot of notification for that one. That one struck in the middle of the night. Now that tornado had a 2% chance of hitting within 25 miles of the city. A 2% chance, and it did. So the big thing is being notified, having a weather radio, using local news sources, using Twitter, whatever you can. There's so many great resources on Twitter that I use. So on Twitter, I use Nash Severe WX for weather. They're a fantastic Middle Tennessee weather reporting. They are one of the only ones that reported that Nashville tornado hitting before it actually did. So they gave a very good warning out to the subscribers and people that follow that page.
So let's go back to the radar. We have a confirmed tornado now. The Weather Service is saying we have a confirmed tornado in Davidson County. And now it appears that this is definitely a tornado on the ground. This right here is debris Right now, this tornado is in East Nashville. You see power flashes there. The tornado is in East Nashville, pushing to the east.
So they had some sort of an idea. But again, having a weather radio is crucial, and it is a definite recommendation out here, especially if something like severe weather or tornadoes might be in the back of your mind and scare you. Now, of course, with the monitoring and with the warnings, there's a difference. There's watch and warning. A watch is conditions are favorable. Like a watch is like, hey, keep an eye out because this could happen the way things are going. A warning is, hey, it's likely or it's imminent. Like this is gonna happen for sure. So you need to take cover and get yourself somewhere safe. So the National Weather Service actually has the wireless emergency alert system that you can sign up for, and I believe it's just your phone number. They will send you a text message. You'll get an alert the minute that it's issued, just in case you're not available to catch up on social media or you're not near a TV. At least it'll come through right to your phone. Many of the phones do have alerts, but the problem with the alerts coming through on the phones is they can fail. You could not have service, you could not be in a good area, you could not have Wi-Fi. You don't want that to come in between you and a storm in the matter of your safety, right? So it's best to be prepared and have multiple ways of getting that notification, which is why we love the radio. Now I'm gonna link the Midland weather radio. That's the one we have. That's the one I recommend to everybody. It's inexpensive. It's only 29 bucks on Amazon right now. And sure enough, as spring goes on and we start getting more storms, I guarantee you it'll go up in price. So if you are nervous about the storms in the area, or you don't have a weather radio, that's definitely something that you should look into. It's an easy grab right now on Amazon, so make sure you get that. I'll link it below. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not getting paid off of it. It's not sponsored or anything. So I'm just trying to do my best to help spread the word so that way people are notified and warned properly. It's something to have. Like, you should have it and have a way of getting these notifications, or someone in your family should at least, even if you don't want it. Because now, like I mentioned earlier, a year ago yesterday, the Nashville tornado hit. Well, in April, that following month, the Chattanooga tornado hit, and our friends Ashley and Mel that live down in Chattanooga, they were right in the path of it. And I remember texting her because I was watching it unfold on the news, wondering if that tornado was going to come up 75 towards us to East Tennessee, or what was going to go on with it. And I remember her telling me that her and Mel were hiding in the closet with their weather radio blaring in the background, just fearing for their lives because they didn't know what was going on. Sure enough, that tornado hit as I was texting her. Now, some people will say that weather radio is annoying when it goes off, it scares them, this and that, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather have that going off and alerting me rather than have nothing and then all of a sudden be caught off guard and having to, fend for my life or run for my life, who knows. So that's why I stress the weather radio. You can always, I don't know, you can turn it down, you can mute it, you can, if it's something where, you know what, like, you can keep a good eye on it with the local weather stations, and if it looks like things might get dicey that night, then you can turn it on, maybe. Then you have it plugged in, maybe you have it going, that way you can sleep a little bit better at night. But again, just like the Nashville tornado, 2% chance of it hitting within the city, and it did. So take it for what it's worth. So as far as tornadoes go in East Tennessee, it's very low probability. Everything comes from West Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and then drops off the plateau. Like I've said before, when it hits us, I feel like it comes off the plateau, hits the river, hits the mountains, the storms kind of dissipate. So you see more, I believe they say 40% of the Tennessee tornadoes happen up around the Nashville area, just because it's so flat up there. You don't have hills, you don't have mountains, you don't have anything like that like we do over here in East Tennessee. Our area in Blount County has had, I believe on record, I believe it was 1950 to like 2010 that they had the record. There were 10 tornadoes in there. You had one F3, one F2, a handful of F1s, and then a bunch of F0s. So F0 is like 40 to 72 mile per hour winds. F1 is going to be from like 70 to 110 in that range. This, I'm not exact on these numbers. These are approximates. That's kind of how the rating goes. So you can see how in Blount County, haven't been very many. It's almost like you wouldn't even know that it was a tornado. It would just be a really severe windstorm, really. But there have been no deaths in it. Just a lot of damage, obviously. Going to damage houses, going to damage trailers, stuff like that, which obviously your best bet. If you were to be in a tornado or have a risk of a tornado, you would want to get to the lowest part of the house, get away from the windows, get in interior rooms, all that, just so that way your safety is of the utmost priority. Now that Chattanooga tornado was an EF3. I think it was 145 mile/hour winds, and it did damage. I believe it killed 3, and I believe there were 20 or so people injured. Now I went down there the following day to meet up with Mel and Ashley because they were doing a reconnaissance, just trying to help out whoever they could. So I went down there with a chainsaw. I did vlog it a little bit. There's a video, if you go back you could find it. I wasn't there to vlog, I was there to work. So I chainsawed I don't know how many trees, but just that was really it. It was cool to see the community come together and just everyone lean on each other, because just the destruction from a tornado is just, you can't believe it. It's one of those things where you just stand there and just, you're in disbelief of what just happened. And I mean, there were some drone shots that I took, you could see the path and just how it just rips up everyone's personal possessions and just throws them all about. All right, we got a good day. I love little kids in the back of the vlog that try to be on. It's so good, I love it, it's my favorite thing. So again, if anybody has questions on the weather specifically that I didn't go over, I know it was kind of broad and kind of generalized, but if you have specific stuff you want to know about, shoot me a message, let me know. Again, Instagram is the best form for the combos. But yeah, let me know. I'm more than willing to answer any questions. Again, I'm not a professional, not a meteorologist, but I do like to learn about this stuff, and weather does fascinate me. So if I could be of any assistance to anyone, I would love to be. So shoot me a message and let me know.